CARCRAZEDKID, and I'm here with Niece Motorsports, one of Niece Motorsports drivers, Bayley Currey. Huge thanks to Niece Motorsports for bringing me out here and letting me have this amazing opportunity. Anyway, do you want to talk about the car? What are some facts that you want to tell the viewers about this car?
Yeah, I mean, some things people might not know. The engines are all spec engine. Everybody in the truck series uses the same Ilmore engine. It's based on a LS block. They put out about 600 horsepower or so. We're going to a road course this weekend, so this one's set up a little bit differently. Set up to go left and right, where normally it's just left. So a lot different there. We're all set up for rain. If you look over here, you can see the windshield wiper. And in case it starts raining, we have rain tires. Obviously, we won't be running on the slicks that we're on now.
What about the suspension? Are there anything you want to tell the viewers about the suspension?
Yeah, definitely something that we've been doing in the past few years in the truck series. Pretty much all the teams now is a pigtail suspension. So what it is, it's a bigger spring, probably about 2,500 to 3,000 pounds on the rate, but the way it's set up is much different. So it sits on one side of the spring and kind of falls onto the other. So definitely interesting, something that you definitely wouldn't see on a street car or really any other type of race car except for in NASCAR.
So how does this compare to like a street car? How different is it?
Obviously the handling's much better. The way these things grip, the downforce these things have, the trucks have the big spoiler and the big splitter as well. So a lot of downforce on both ends, a lot of grip, and with the horsepower makes for a pretty good time.
Now, what got you into racing and NASCAR?
Well, actually, my dad raced. I'm from out here in Driftwood, Texas. My dad raced at Thunder Hill Raceway over in Kyle, and obviously I wanted to do it. So I started racing down in New Braunfels, doing go-karts, and just kind of slowly worked my way up through the ranks, and got me to where I am today.
So, Bayley, what about this radiator? It's huge.
Yeah, so we run these big radiators in these things, pretty much so we can run as much tape to create as much downforce as we can. Downforce in these things is pretty much king. As much as you can get, the more grip you have, the better you'll handle, the better you'll finish. So we run a big radiator and oil cooler here to do so.
And what about this chassis work and all this?
So we at Niece Motorsports actually build our own front clips. This stuff is all done in-house at the shop. We have a big fab shop that does all of that. And yeah, we've been doing that for a couple of years now.
And what about this carbon fiber tube to the brakes? What is that for?
So that's just for brake cooling. We're going to COTA, which is one of the hardest tracks on brakes in the whole country. So you got to make sure you keep these things cool so they don't go out on you in the race.
And what about these ropes that are connected all to the tires?
So pretty much it's a spindle tether is what that's called. And what those are for is if you go out there, you crash, you hit something, and you knock the front suspension off, it just keeps it tethered to the truck so it doesn't go flying off, it can hit somebody, hit another truck, or hurt somebody.
So Bayley, what about this spoiler here? I can see it's very downforce.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's probably the second biggest spoiler of all of the NASCAR 3 Series. The Cup spoiler is a little bit bigger, but this thing definitely provides a whole lot of rear downforce and rear grip force.
What about the seats?
Yeah, so it's a carbon fiber seat. They have a few different molds for the actual seat itself, but the actual mold in here is custom fit. So I'll sit in there, they'll pour this a material in there, it kind of solidifies around me, they trim it up, put the fabric over it, and that's what I sit in for the race.
And I can see there's a lot of switches and buttons for start and ignition. What's that all about?
Well, so yeah, we have the start ignition, obviously. Then you have your radiator fan, gear fan, brake fans, and then for road courses, something different. We have a brake, or not a brake light, but a light that kind of lets you know in the rain where people are, but like in front of you. The defrost, which will surprisingly, the switch will fog up a whole lot when it starts raining. And then you have the windshield wiper, obviously, for the water.
There's a lot of red switches and buttons.
Yeah, so obviously there's the ignition, the starter here. There's a brake fan, a gear fan, and the radiator fan. The radiator fan's kind of optional, depends on where the water temperature is. Brake fans will probably at COTA, probably turn that on after lap 1. Gear fan will be on the whole time. Then over here we have the rain stuff. So we have a wiper, a defroster, and a rear light to kind of let the guys behind you know where you are in case, you know, there's rain and there's big rooster tails coming up.
What about that red box right in where the passenger seat would be in a regular truck?
So that red box there, that is the ignition box. That is the CPU that runs all of the ignition and things like that. These trucks are fuel injected. So that's pretty much the CPU, and it just tells the engine what to do.
Niece Motorsport, number 45, Bayley Currey, rapid fire. So Bayley, what gets you in the zone before a race?
I like to listen to music a little bit, and just hearing those words start your engine get me pretty pumped up.
What's your reaction when you first was told you would be a professional driver?
I couldn't believe it, but then you just got to make the most of it.
And what's your favorite on-the-road food?
Whenever we're on the road, I usually just look for the nearest Mexican restaurant or wings.
So that was it for today's video. If you liked today's video, like, subscribe, comment, and share. And huge thanks to Niece Motorsports once again. And I'll see you in the next video.